Okay, we're starting out the 5:20 turn here, and as you can see, Confederates have made some good progress. Stoney Hill, Kershaw's brigade down here to the south has successfully attacked, at least started the attack on the peach orchard, and had broken through some lines, knocking out a couple of Union batteries up here. Anderson's been pretty beat up over here as well, but Benning and Robertson are right here to kind of support them in the attack. For the Union's perspective, they've been really battered, as I said, down here in the peach orchard. We have got Schweitzer, thin line here, trying to hold out. We've got Tilton up here, kind of hold out the Wheatfield with Torbrand and Winslow's battery. Ward is doing pretty good position up on Houck's Ridge, but we'll see what Robertson's attack will be like. Gonna have to try to recover these shaken and battle-worn units over here. We will be getting some reinforcements this turn for the Union, as well as Confederates. In this particular turn, the Union's going to get Cross and Kelly coming from Caldwell's brigade from the 2nd Corps coming in, as well as we'll get Kershaw's 15th South Carolina in here as well to support the attack. So let's see how it goes. We'll start off with the Union artillery and go from there. And here we go with the artillery phase. So first one is going to be Hart's battery here, and they're going to take a shot at Kershaw's 7th South Carolina. So they're at point blank range. They're going to be shooting canister. They roll a 53, which is going to be a hit. And then they roll a 56. Let's get our test chart out here. That's going to be a routine hit. And 56, which is going to be a depletion, morale hit, and retreat 2. Ooh, so that's going to push Kershaw's 7th South Carolina back and really take them out of the fight. That's good. Next we'll move on to Phillips guns right next door. They're going to try to go after the 2nd South Carolina. And they roll a 24, which is going to be a miss. Alright, and then we're going to move up here to Winslow. Winslow is going to target Anderson's 8th Georgia here, right on the edge of the Stoney Hill. Takes a shot, rolls a 52 and a 33. So they'll have to retreat 1 hex. That pushes them off the hill, keeps them at bay. And then finally, we're going to have Smith's battery taking a shot at the 48th Alabama. Rolls a 44. That's going to be good enough for a hit because it's in canister range. You roll a 52, which depletes them and leaves them right there. So Union artillery at the 5:20 turn has done their job, knocking out and pushing back Confederate units to hold back the onslaught that's coming the Union way. So we'll move on to the chit draw phase. So in our chit draw phase, first significant event that came up was Hancock. His chit came out and he activated, and he activates Kelly to maneuver. Now Kelly is reinforcements coming in here from the 2nd Corps, and most famously this is the Irish Brigade coming in, and you can see they're coming in over here on 2411, and they're going to maneuver and actually get in, or get onto the board I should say. So we're going to see them maneuver here, where they're going to move up and position themselves to potentially strike at the Stoney Hill on a subsequent turn. Then we've got Longstreet comes out, and Longstreet activates, and that gets Benning to potentially attack. Anderson to potentially attack. And Anderson takes a shot at Kelly, rolls a 54, and misses, and then moves up units to control the Stoney Hill. So Anderson beats them back to Stoney Hill, but Kelly is there to potentially attack. And you can notice that Anderson's 9th Georgia is depleted, so they are kind of on the tip in a dangerous position. And you can see most of Anderson's units are depleted, so it's going to be a interesting fight over there when it comes down to it. Continuing on, we had some events drawn, and then a rally chit comes up. And this is going to go against what I was just talking about, the 9th Georgia. And unfortunately, he can't rally. It's actually going to be behind him, the 59th Georgia. And they roll a 2, and they fully recover. Okay. So now the 59th Georgia, which is a strong unit, you can see they're back up to full strength. And that's the rally. Next, moving along, we get Barnes, who activates, and we're going to get Schweitzer to defend. And what that's going to do is allow Schweitzer to maneuver a little bit and regroup the 62nd Pennsylvania in the orchard next to the Trostle Farm. They also moved up the 32nd Massachusetts and the 4th Michigan in a better supporting position to Kelly's advance. And that's a little bit of maneuvering for now with the activations. Okay, the next chit out of the cup is McLaws, as you can see here. He is going to try to activate. He rolls a 3. He does activate, so that means Kershaw is going to go into, most likely, an attack, because he's in a good position there with the peach orchard to continue to try to take the northern side of that terrain feature. First off, Kershaw is going to get reinforcements, the 15th South Carolina. They're going to go into Hex 2222, and Kershaw is going to go into the attack. First thing is going to be direct fire. So here we're going to get the 2nd South Carolina taking a shot at the 15th New York and the 68th Pennsylvania right down here. So we'll see what that is. They get a hit. It's going to be a tough hit. They roll a 54, which is going to be deplete all, and then a morale hit, retreat 2. So the 68th is the lead unit. They're going to take the first hit right there. And then the 15th is going to take the second hit. They've got to do a break test. They fail, so they're eliminated. And then we have the rest of the South Carolina starting to move up to close assault on those units. So we see the units moving forward here. And then the 15th South Carolina is coming up for reserve. The one last one here, the Shaken South Carolinians are going to stay back there for the moment. So we're going to get some close assaults here. First off is going to be the 2nd and 3rd South Carolinas teaming up against the 68th Pennsylvania. 68th is going to try to take a shot at the 2nd. They roll a 51. It's going to miss. And the Confederates are going to attack with a very significant, overwhelming force. They get a severe result, resulting in a 13, which is going to be a break test, which their 68th is going to fail. So they're going to go on to the broken track. And then we also have a panic. Do we have a panic here? No, we don't. Not in this one. So in this case, the rest of the units move up. And that we move on to the next one, which is potentially the 8th South Carolina. But the Confederate player holds, plays command momentum, so they get another activation. They do need to roll for that, and they are going to roll a 3, which gets another activation with Kershaw again. That activation, of course, is going to be an attack, and in this case, now we go back with our cycle again, where we're going to have shooting by the 8th South Carolina, plus the 2nd South Carolina and 3rd South Carolina Battalion at the 5th Light Massachusetts Artillery and the 7th New Jersey. Their shot is going to be a 44, which is going to be a routine result. And first, the hit is going to be taken on the 5th Light because they're the lead unit. And then the second hit is going to be taken on the New Jersey unit. And then the artillery has to retreat 1 hex. So they move back into there. But now the real tough part comes in, because now the 7th New Jersey depleted and very weakened state. They'll try a defensive fire against one of them once they set up the attack. So Kershaw's units move up for the attack. So now it's going to be these two units, the 3rd and 2nd South Carolinians going against the 7th New Jersey. 7th New Jersey is going to try to shoot back at them. They get a 54. That's not going to be enough. Confederates attacks would be a 61. That's going to be a severe, and that's going to result in a depletion and a break test with a panic. But they're going to fail their depletion break, and they're going to go on the broken track 2, or broken track 3, excuse me. And then also the 5th Light Massachusetts is going to take a panic test because they are a cohesion of 2, and they're going to have to retreat 3 hexes and take a morale hit. And then Kershaw moves up to end the attack. So Kershaw's units have cleared the northern section of the peach orchard and have cleared that area off. So they pretty much have control of the peach orchard sections. We'll get some control markers on there as well. So our next chit is going to be Caldwell, who fails to activate, and with that has Kelly perform a limited activation, which means Kelly's going to actually do some shooting against some targets, Anderson and potentially Kershaw down here. So first off, Kelly activates. We're going to have the 69th, 88th, and 63rd New York take a shot at the 9th Georgia. They roll a 62, which is going to be a hit. It's going to be a routine hit, but that actually misses, and he can stay right there. Should get the firing results up here. There we go. Yeah, he gets a routine hit, and he misses, or no damage, I should say. Then we're going to get the 116th Massachusetts, or I should say the 28th Massachusetts, firing at 15th South Carolina over here. They take a shot, and they roll a 61. That's going to be a hit, and then roll a 63. It's a routine hit, so it's going to be a depletion, followed by a retreat 1. So they will move back and be depleted. Next, we're going to have the 116th Massachusetts taking a shot at the 2nd South Carolina. They roll 25, which is a miss on there. Okay, so that's all of Kelly's activation. Next one coming out is going to be a command event, good ground, which is going to be placed over here near the Wheatfield. Keep that in line intact, or try to at least. And the next one out is going to be Hood. They roll an activation. They roll a 2, which activates, and they're going to get Anderson on the attack. So Anderson, first off, is going to try a shot on the New York. The 9th Georgia is going to try to shoot at the New Yorkers. They roll a 43, which is going to be a miss. And now, so Anderson's units moved up into an attack, and we're going to first have the 8th Georgia and the 11th Georgia going after the 116th Massachusetts. They will actually get a defensive fire first, which misses. So now the attack, which is going to be pretty overwhelming, rolls a 66, which is severe. That's going to deplete them. So they're going to do a break test. They roll a 4, which they pass. But now they also need to take 2 morale hits. One more, and then do another break test, which they fail. So now they're eliminated because they're a fragile unit. And we also have a panic 1. So that means 1 unit is going to panic back here, like so. Or, yeah, panic 1. Excuse me. That is not correct because I'm in the cohesion 1. Yeah, it's morale at 2, retreat 2, panic 3. So first one's going to panic is Schweitzer over there. Next, we're going to have Kelly panic over there, and those are the only 2 that can qualify for panic. The rest of Anderson's units move up, and they will claim control again of Stoney Hill, or keep control of Stoney Hill. So then we have the next one is Fortunes of War. It's a USA command chit. That's pulled, and that's off. And then we have a rally for the USA. They are going to rally Burling's unit over here, and they will recover. And now provide a little bit of a defense down here for the Abraham Trostle Farm, because now we have quite the force coming up here that have kind of shattered the right flank of the Union line. Anderson's now moving up to support Kershaw over here and be able to push in here. So we've got to get reinforcements in here. We do have Cross, who's come on the board, and he still has not activated yet. He's still unactivated, so he can come up and potentially fill the gap. But we've got quite the force coming up to meet them here. So we'll see what happens with the rest of the activations. With the next activation, Caldwell comes out, and he does activate. So he's going to activate his other unit coming in this turn, which is going to be Cross, which he's down over here, coming in from the north. Now I think we're going to have him move down and try to firm up Trostle Farm and this western area that's in dire danger of the attack by Kershaw and Anderson. So he's going to maneuver, and we're going to get them heading down this way. And we're going to be positioning 5th New Hampshire out front, 81st Pennsylvania here over in the orchard with Schweitzer's unit, as well as the 148th Pennsylvania back in the Trostle Farm itself, and then the 61st back here, 61st New York back here to potentially provide support because they're a fragile unit here. So that's all for Caldwell. They move up. Then we will have Hood come out, and that's going to be now Benning going into the attack. So they're going to, well, we got this one a little bit backwards. They're supposed to shoot first and then move, but do the shooting and they miss, and then Benning moves up there as well, and Law takes a shot and misses there as well. Okay, so not much action there with them. And then we move forward and we get Bernie, and he fails his activation. So this means either Detrobrand or Ward, Graham, Detrobrand or Ward is going to activate. And it's going to be Graham, seeing as his unit is off on the broken track. Then we roll again and we get Bernie again. This time he fails for a second time. This is going to be Detrobrand, and that's going to have the 17th Maine take a defensive shot against Benning's units over here. He's going to go after the 17th Georgia, takes his shot and misses, And then we go on to Bernie once again, and he rolls a 1 this time. We're going to have Ward activate, and Ward is actually going to attack. So first off, we're going to have some shooting. They're going to take some shots back at Law. The 48th rolls a 31, which is a miss. And then the 86 is shooting at the 3rd Arkansas over here. Rolls a 14, which is a miss as well. And then we'll have a little bit of movement over here to move up to 20th Indiana along this path in the woods to kind of give some blockage here from Benning and Robertson shifting north, given that the attack is going so well to the north, and you know, not letting them bypass Houck's Ridge, or trying not to. All right, then we have Barnes comes out, and the last one is Tilton. For them, they fail. They're going to take a quick shot at them, and they miss. Actually, they do get a hit, but they miss on the damages. There's no damage. So then Hood comes out once more, and this is going to be Robertson, who's going to activate over here. And this is going to be the last one here, last chit for it. Robinson goes on the attack. It's going to take some shots here, but they will miss here as well. Then the 3rd Arkansas is going to come over here and try to attack the 20th Indiana, while the 1st Texas is going to try to move up and push for Devil's Den again. So first off, we're going to start with the Arkansas versus the Indianians. And they're going to, the Union's going to take a defensive shot. They miss. Confederate takes a shot at 33, 26. That means they got a close fight, I believe. Excuse me, I've got the wrong results here. Cohesion results. There we go. Yeah, we got a close fight where the attacker was depleted, and the defender takes a morale hit and skedaddle and retreats too. So he goes back like that, and 3rd Arkansas is reduced. Okay, and then the second one we have the 4th New York Artillery, 24th New York, firing at the 1st Texas. They roll a 46, which is a hit, and then roll a routine hit, and then roll a 13 on the fire results, which retreats them 1 hex. So they go back into Rose Woods. So Devil's Den holds out for now. So we're at the end of the 520 turn, and the Confederates have gained a lot of ground during this particular turn, particular 20-minute turn. Namely here from Kershaw's units down here in the south attacking, coming out of Rose's Orchard, starting roughly this particular spot and heading across into the Peach Orchard down here, Millerstown Road, and then pretty much breaking the Peach Orchard and capturing that completely. Not without suffering some casualties, as you can see here, of course, but definitely in a good position to continue their attack with some strong units still not battle worn. Anderson also has recovered a bit and is showing a strong attack in the center, pushing back Kelly's units and positioning themselves to continue to attack across the Millerstown Road into Trostle Woods over in here. Benning has recovered a little bit and has moved up right to the edge of Rose Woods and to the Wheatfield to potentially try to attack again on Detrobrand and Winslow's batteries up here, as well as Tilton. Ward, up to the north here for the Union, has pretty much been untouched until recently when they ventured down here to try to block Roberson from getting up there. A little bit of battling over here as well, but Law has basically kept his distance from the Houck's Ridge and Devil's Den area. The Union, on the other hand, has suffered quite a bit in terms of unit losses. We can see the whole right side of the Union line has been replaced by Cross's brigade coming from the 2nd Corps. And we've also got Kelly's brigade, which came in as reinforcements over there as well. But you can see the 5th Corps is Tilton. Schweitzer's units are all banged up over here. We still have some artillery over here as well, but they all need to recover. Coming up in the next turn, we will be seeing some reinforcements for the Union. We'll see here we've got Zook and Brooke. They will come over here in from the north. They are also part of Caldwell's units, and they will be coming in up here as reinforcements to try to plug gaps in there as well. And then, of course, turn after that, we'll get Ayer's regular units, regular infantry from Burbank on the board, as well as Barksdale's 21st Mississippians will make an appearance here for the next couple turns here as well. So Confederates are in a good position. Union's a little tougher position here. They've got to hold out. Trostle Farm and the Weichert Farm back here need to be held. I think the Union can hold Houck's Ridge. It's going to be tough because you got Robertson's tough units right there in Benning. So depending on how the Wheatfield goes, we'll have to see how that goes. But they're definitely in control of Peach Orchard and the Stoney Hill for the moment. So stay tuned for the next episode, and we'll see you soon. Please like us, subscribe, and comment, and we'll see you soon.